Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki
Jai.
Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtotra Shima Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Nanda Godi Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Amacharya Das Thakur ki
Jai.
Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanti ki
Jai.
The Gopremanande
Hari Hari Bol.
Glories assembled devotees, glories assembled devotees,
Hare Krishna.
all glories assembled devotees, Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation. Chapter 7, the son of Drona punished, and today's verses 8, 9, and 10. We'll read the verse 8. Sa Samhidam Bhagavatim Kritva Anukramya Cha Atmajam Shugam Adhyapayamasa Nivritti Niradam Muni Sasamidam Bhagavatim Kritvanukramya Chatmajam Shugamadhyapayamasa Niradam Muni Sasamidam Bhagavatim Kritva Anukramya Chatmajam Shugamadhyapayamasa Nivritti Niradam Muni Sasamidam Bhagavatim Kritvanukramya Chatmajam Shugamadhyapayamasa Nivritti Niradam Muni Sharajamaji.
ഞാൻ വായിക്കാം. സൗണ്ട് ഇല്ല കേട്ടോ പ്രഭുജി. ഓം നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ. സസംഹിതാം ഭാഗവതീം കൃത്വാനുക്രമ്യ ജാത്മജം ശുഗം അധ്യാഭയാമാസ നിവർത്തി നിരതം മുനിഃ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ.
Right. Manohari Mahaji, you have the book undo?
എവിടെയാ ബുക്ക്? പറയുന്നു കേൾക്കൂലേ? അതും പോയി. സംഹിതാം ഭഗവതീം കൃത്വാനുക്രമ്യ ചാത്മജം സുഖം അധ്യാപയാമാശ നിവൃത്തി നിരതം മുനിഃ.
Right. Snigdha Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasanghitang Bhagavating Krutvanukramya Chatmajam Sukamyadhyapayamasa Nibruti Nirantang Muni. Hare Krishna.
Can read the synonyms. So, Kifori, no? Can read?
Yes. Saha, that. Samhitam, Vedic literature, Bhagavatim, in relation with the personality of Godhead, kritva, having done, anukramya, by correction and repetition, cha, and atmajam, his own son, Sukadeva Goswami, Adhya, Adhyapayam, Esha, taught Nivritti, path of self-realization, Nirattam, engaged, Munihi, the says. Translation: the great says Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukadeva Goswami, who was always engaged in self-realization. Purport: His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutra compiled by the same author. This Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra is meant for those who are already engaged in self-realization. Srimad Bhagavatam is also made that one becomes at once engaged in the path of self-realization simply by hearing the topics, although it is especially meant for the Paramahansas or those who are totally engaged in self-realization. It works into the depths of the hearts of those who may be worldly men. Worldly men are all engaged in sense gratification, but even such men will find in this Vedic literature a remedial measure for their material diseases. Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very beginning of his birth, and his father taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. Amongst mundane scholars, there is some diversity of opinion as to the date of compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is, however, certain from the text of the Bhagavatam that it was compiled before the disappearance of King Parikshit and after the departure of Lord Krishna, when Maharaja Parikshit was ruling the world as the king of Bharatavarsha. He chastised the personality of Kali. According to revealed scriptures and astrological calculation, the age of Kali is in its 5000th year. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled not less than 5000 years ago. Mahabharata was compiled before Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Puranas were compiled before Mahabharata. That is an estimation of the date of compilation of the different Vedic literatures. The synopsis of Srimad Bhagavatam was given before the detailed description under instruction of Narada. Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of for following the path of Nibriti Marga. The path of Prabriti Marga was condemned by Narada. The path is natural inclination for all conditional souls. The theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is the cure of the materialistic disease of the human being, or stopping completely the pangs of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 9. Shaunaka Vacha Sa
Saunaka Uvacha Sa Vai
Nivrti Nirada
Nibruti Nirata
Sarvatra
Sarvatro
Vekshago
Pekshako
Muni
Munihi
Kasya
Kasya
Tasya
Va
va
Brihadim
brahati
Bruhati
Etam
Etam
Atma Rama
Atma Rama
Samabhyasat
sabhyasa
Samabhyasat
Samobhyasa
Samapita
Shaunaka Vacha
Shaunako
Saunaka
Savai Nivarti Niradaha
savai nivarti niradaha
Sarvatro Veshago Muni
sarvatropeshago
Sarvatropekshakam Munihi
Kasya Va Brihatin Etam
tasya va
Kashyapa
brahati etam
Rama Samabhyasat
आत्मा रामा
Yes.
Shaunaka uvacha
Saunako
Chaunaka
Vacha
Vacha
Savai nivarti niradaha
Savai
Savai
Nivriti
Nivarti Nirada
Nirataha
Sarvatropeshago muni
Sarvatro
Sarvatro Peshago
Asya va bhritim edam
Kasya
Kashyava
va
Brahati
Brahadi
Meta
Vedam
Maharaja samabhyasa
Atmaram
Rama
Samabhyasa.
Samapyasa.
Jadajamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Savai Nivarti Nirada Sarva Savai Nivarti Nirada Sarvatro Peshago Muni Kasya va Brahadi Medam Atma Ramam Samab Asabhyasat
Samabhyasat.
Samabhyasat. Hare
Right.
Krishna.
Right. Manohari Mohanji.
सौनगवाजा सवै निवृत्ति निरदः सर्वत्रो भक्षगो मुनिः कश्यवा बृहदि मेधाम् आत्मा रामाः समभ्यसात्
Hare Krishna. Sigdamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Saunaka Vacha Savai Nivriti Niratah Sarvatropekshako Munihi Kasyava Brahati Medam Atma Ramah Samabhyasat. May I read the synonyms?
Yes.
Saunaka Vaja, Sri Saunaka asked, Saha, he, Vai, of course, Nibriti, on the path of self-realization, Nirataha, always engaged, Sarvatra, in every respect, Upekshakaha, indifferent, Munihi, says, Kashya, for what reason, Va, or Vrahatim, vast, Itam, this, Atma, Aramaha, one who is pleased in himself, Sambha Samabhyasat, undergoes the studies. Translation: Sri Saunaka asked Sutamuni, Sri Sukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? Purport: His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For the people in general, the highest perfection of life is to cease from material activities and be fixed on the path of self-realization. Those who take pleasure in sense enjoyment, or those who are fixed in material bodily welfare work, are called karmis. Out of thousands and millions of such karmis, one may become an Atma Rama by self-realization. Atma means self and Arama means to take pleasure. Everyone is searching after the highest pleasure, but the standard of pleasure of one may be different from the standard of another. Therefore, the standard of pleasure enjoyed by the karmis is different from that of the Atmaramas. The Atmaramas are completely indifferent to material enjoyment in every respect. Srila Sukadev Goswami had already attained that stage, and still he was attracted to undergo the trouble of studying the great Bhagavatam literature. This means that Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate study even for the Atmaramas, who have surpassed all studies of Vedic knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 10. Sudha Vacha
Sudovacha
Atma Rama
Atmarama
Cha
Ja
Nayo
Munayo
Nirgrandha
Nirganda
Api
Abhi
Urukrame
Virukrame
Kurvandi
Kurvandi
Ahetugim
Ahetuhi
Bhaktim
Bhaktim
Itham Bhuda
Bhuta
Gune
Gune
Hari
Hari
Sudavacha
Sudavaja
Atmaramascha Munayo
Atmaramata Munayo
Nirganda Abhirukrame
Nirganda Abhiruddhame
Kurvandyahaitvigim Bhaktim
Kurvandi Aituhim Bhakti
Ittam Bhuda Guno Hari
Hari
Sudavacha
Sudavaja
Atmaramascha Munayo
Atmaram
Atmaramata Munayo
Grantha Abhirukrame
Nigrantha Virukrame
Virukrame
Kurvandyahaitvigim Bhaktim
Brugantha
Kurvandi Aituhim
Bhakti
Bhakti
Bhuda Guno Hari
Mitam
Hari
Sudavacha
Suto
Sudavaja
Atmaramascha Munayo
Atmaram Munayo
Nirgrantha Abhirukrame
Nigrantha Virukrame
Kurvandyahaitvigim Bhaktim
Kurbantya
Kurvandi
Tuking
Aituhim
Bhakti
Bhakti
Bhuda Guno Hari
Sambhuta Guno Hari
Hari Guni
Sharjamaji. Sharjamaji. Manohari Maji.
Sudavacha Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Abhi Urukrame Kurvanti Ahaidugim Bhaktim Idam Bodha Guno Harihi.
Okay, right. Hare Krishna. Yes. Sharjamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sudavaja Atma Ramascha Munayo Nargranda Avidyukrame Kurvandya Haidugim Bhaktim Idam Bhuda Guno Hari.
Ittam
Hare
Bhuda.
Krishna. Idam Bhuda Guno Hari.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Right. Snigdamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Suto Vacha Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Apyurukrame Kurbantya Hetu King Bhakti Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. May I read the synonyms?
Yes, yes.
Suta Uvacha, Suta Goswami said, Atma Ramasya, those who take pleasure in the Atma, generally spirit self. So also Munayah says, Nirgrantha, freed from all bondage, api, in spite of, Urukrame, unto the great adventurer, Kurvanti, do, Ahetukim, unalloyed, Bhaktim, devotional service, Ittam, Bhuta, such wonderful Gunaha qualities Harihe of the Lord. Translation Sutta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those who established on the path of self realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Purport His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this Atmarama sloka very vividly before his chief devotee Srila Sanatan Goswami. He points out 11 factors in the sloka, namely Atmarama, Munayaha, Nirgrantha, Api, Cha, Urukrama, Kurvanti, Ahetukim, Bhaktim, Itham Bhuta Gunaha, and Harihe. According to the Vishwa Prakasa Sanskrit Dictionary, there are 7 synonyms for the word Atma, which are as follows: Brahman, Atma. The word Atma,
No,
which
Atma Rama.
Atma Rama, which are as follows: Brahman, the absolute truth, body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, and personal habits. The word Munaya refers to those who are thoughtful, those who are brave and silent, ascetics, the persistent mendicants, sages, and saints. The word Nigraha conveys these ideas.
Nirgrantha. Nirgrantha.
Nirgrantha conveys these ideas. One who is liberated from nations, one who has no connection with scriptural injunction, that is, who is freed from the obligation of the rules and regulations mentioned in the revealed scriptures, like ethics, Vedas, philosophy, psychology, and metaphysics. In other words, the fools, illiterate, urchins, etc., who have no connection with regulative principles, a capitalist, and also one who is penniless. According to the Sabha Kosha dictionary, the affix "ni" is used in the sense of certainly counting, building, and forbiddance, and the word grantha is used in the sense of wealth, thesis, vocabulary, etc. The word urukrama means the one whose activities are glorious. Krama means step. The word Urukrama specifically indicates the Lord's incarnation as Vamana, who covered the whole universe by immeasurable steps. Lord Vishnu is powerful, and his activities are so glorious that he has created the spiritual world by his internal potency and the material world by his external potency. By his all pervading features, he is everywhere present as the supreme truth, and in his personal feature he is always present in his transcendental abode of Golaka Vrindavan, where he displays his transcendental pastimes in all variegatedness. His activities cannot be compared to anyone else, and therefore the word Urukrama is just applicable to him only. According to Sanskrit verbal arrangements, kurbanti refers to doing things for someone else. Therefore, it means that the Atma Ramas render devotional service unto the Lord not for personal interest but for the pleasure of Lord Urukrama. Hetu means casual. There are many causes for one's sense satisfaction, and they can be chiefly classified as material enjoyment, mystic powers, and liberation, which are generally desired by progressive persons. As far as material enjoyments are concerned, they are innumerable, and the materialistic are eager to increase them more and more because they are under the illusory energy. There is no end to the list of material enjoyments, nor can anyone in the material universe have all of them. As far as the mystic powers are concerned, they are eight in all, such as to become the minutest in form, to become weightless, to have anything one desires, to lord it over the material nature, to control other living being, to throw earthly globes in outer space. These mystic powers are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. The form of liberation are five in number. Therefore, unalloyed devotion means service to the Lord without desire for the above mentioned personal benefits, and the powerful personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, can be fully satisfied by such unalloyed devotees free from all sorts of desires for personal benefit. Unalloyed devotional service of the Lord progresses in different stages. Practice of devotional service in the material field is of 81 different qualities, and above such activities is the transcendental practice of devotional service, which is one and is called sadhana bhakti. When unalloyed practice of sadhana bhakti is matured into transcendental love for the Lord, the transcendental loving service of the Lord begins gradually developing into 9 progressive stages of loving service under heading of attachment, love, affection, feeling, affinity, adherence, following, ecstasy, and intense feelings of separation. The attachment of an inactive devotee develops up to the stage of transcendental love for the God. Attachment of an active servitor develops up to the stage of adherence, and that for a friendly devotee develops up to the stage of following. And the same is also the case for the parental devotee. Devotees in conjugal love develop ecstasy up to the stage of intense feelings of separation. These are some of the features of unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. According to Haribhakti Sudhodaya, the import of the word itham bhuta is complete bliss, transcendental bliss in the relation of impersonal Brahman becomes comparable to the scanty water contained in the pit made by a cow's hoof. It is nothing compared with the ocean of bliss of the vision of the personality of Godhead. The personal form of the Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive that it comprehends all attraction, all bliss, and all taste rasas. These attractions are so strong that no one wants to exchange them for material enjoyment, mystic power, and liberation. There is no need of logical arguments in support of this statement, but out of one's own nature, one become attracted by the qualities of Lord Sri Krishna. We must know for certain that the qualities of the Lord have nothing to do with mundane qualities. All of them are full of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. There are innumerable qualities of the Lord, and one is attracted by one's quality, while another is attracted by another. Great sages such as 4 bachelor devotees, Sanak, Sanatan, Sananda, and Sanat Kumara, were attracted by the fragrance of flowers and tulsi leaves anointed with the pulp of sandalwood offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, Sukadev Goswami was attracted by the transcendental pastime of the Lord. Sukadev Goswami was already situated in liberated stage, yet he was attracted by the pastimes of the Lord. This proves that the quality of his pastime has nothing to do with material affinity. Similarly, the young covered damsels were attracted by the bodily feature of the Lord. And Rukmini was attracted by hearing about the glories of the Lord. The Lord Krishna attracts even the mind of the goddess of fortune and attracts in special cases the minds of all young girls. He attracts the minds of elderly ladies by parental affection. He attracts the minds of the male in humor of servitude and friendship. The word Hari conveys various meanings, but the chief import of the word is that the Lord, vanquish everything inauspicious and takes away the mind of the devotee by avoiding pure transcendental love. By remembering the Lord in acute distress, one can be free from all varieties of miseries and anxieties. Gradually, the Lord vanquishes all obstacles on the path of devotional service of a pure devotee. And the result of 9 devotional activities such as hearing and chanting become manifested. By his personal features and transcendental attributes, the Lord attracts all psychological activities of a pure devotee. Such is the attractive power of the Lord Krishna. The attraction is so powerful that a pure devotee never hankers for any one of the 4 principles of religion. And these are the attractive features of the transcendental attributes of the Lord. And adding to this is the word api and cha. One can increase the imports unlimitedly. According to Sanskrit grammar, there are 7 synonyms for the word api. So, by interpreting each and every word of this sloka, one can see unlimited numbers of transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna that attract the mind of a pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chachurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udavadagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahaganaragnatanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalita Shvishadan Vidamsa Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shivashabhanavi Devi Daityaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namah Madhuryo Madhya Rupanuga Bhaktidam Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastude Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viridhapa Siddhanta Dvandaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sashal Vairagyamurtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padambuje Te Namaha Namo Bhaktivedantaya Sachidananda Namine Gaurashakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gauravirbhavamubhimistam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhaumau Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Goshai Kori Charan Bandhan Jaham Hote Bignash Abhishta Puran Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhuvyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayade Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauraje Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktigam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Jedam Suradopango Mamamandamade Gade Mat Sarvasvadam Bojo Radha Madanamo Divya Vrindaranykalpadharmada Srimad Nagar Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishthalevi Sevimano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vadatarasidaha Kashan Venu Sunair Gopi Govinada Shriyetuna Taptakanchana Gaurangi Lage Vrindavaneshwari Shabhan Sude Devi Pranamami Hare
Shri Krishna
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Sasamidam Bhagavatim Krutvanukrambya Chatmajam Shugam Adhyapayamasa Nivritti Niradam Muni. The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Shukadev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. Hare Krishna. So, Vyasadeva was able to take darshan of Lord completely. He could see the Lord. He could see all his sarva Shad Aishwaryas, his expansions in Vishnu Tattva, his powers, his shaktis, energies, and he was able to see Maya as well as able to see living entities, Jiva. So Jiva was attracted by Maya, and because of attraction, it got illusion, and because of illusion, it started doing some nonsense. And doing nonsense, he got caught in this web of karmic reaction, and he started living his bond life. He was suffering immensely, life after life, so many lives being bonded in Prakriti. And but in that vision also he could see the solution for this, the state of how to free this jiva from bondage, and that is by rendering devotional service. So devotional service is a aspect of interior potency of the Lord, and because of it is interior potency of the Lord, it is totally transcendental. And since it is totally transcendental, it is a perfect method, a perfect means to liberate the conditioned soul. As we know, there are other means also, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, basically, but they are not perfect in the sense the results accruing from bhakti is far, far, far superior to the other processes. So, inspired by this, seeing the cause of bondage for the Jivatma and also the means for it, he narrated Srimad Bhagavatam. When he has said that Anato Vashavam Sakshal Bhakti Yoga Ajokshaje Logasya Janado Vidwans Chakre Satul Samhidam. So, for the benefit of the cause of unlimited numbers of suffering jivas in this material world, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the only source for anartha upashamam, mitigation of these anarthas. And in that Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is glorified. And once you render devotional service to Krishna, it is stated that it is Shoga Moha Maya Abha, Bhaya Abha, Shoga Moha Bhaya Abha. It destroys completely the illusion and the resultant factors, concomitant factors along with this illusion, which is shoka and bhaya, sorrow and fears. It was totally annihilated by the Bhakti Yoga. And in this verses, again glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that initially Vedavyasa had compiled Bhagavatam to glorify Krishna, just like he had compiled so many Puranas. But that was imperfect. As pointed out by Narada, his abbreviated scripture of Srimad Bhagavatam was only mentioning little only about Achyuta and the process of devotion. So, on the advice of Narada, Sridhar Goswami rearranged it. Anukramya means he rearranged it so that the bhakti becomes the most predominant factor in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because at that time, the time means after the disappearance of Krishna, but before the appearance of Parishad Maharaj. In the intervening period, disappearance of Krishna and appearance of Parishad Maharaj, there was a tendency among the religious people to slip to irreligious practices. So that is given in the verse. We have already seen that 1.5.15 Jugupsidam Dharmakride Anshasada Swabhavarektasya Mahadvedikrama Yad Vakyado Dharma Itaitara Astido Namanyade Tasya Nivaranam Jana. Jugupsidam means completely unforgivable, completely unforgivable, most abominable. The action of Vedavyasa to glorify the Purusharthas rather than Bhakti is abominable because it is inherent in all jivas to enjoy. Enjoyment is inherent. And when you talk at length about economic development, that is artha, and sense gratification kama in the Purusharthas, naturally people will think that since it is prescribed by Vedavyasa, the greatest scholar, since he is the greatest scholar and greatest devotee, since it is prescribed by Vedavyasa only, that should be true. It is only adding to their taste only. And they were not looking for any solutions for that. So this is the situation in the interim period when Krishna disappeared and before the advent of advent of Parishad Maharaj, that is the beginning of Kali Yuga. And then an advice of Narada, he revised it. And when he said in Bhagavatam, when he said that Krishna Sudhame Vagachade, so which means that this is a revised, in the sense that it is more elaborate level. Previously I had written little about Krishna, but that is not very relevant, or that is not detailed, not vivid. But the present one, actually, the maybe called now the original one, is one which is attracting everyone. And how it is attracting everyone? It is given in the next verse, Shanaga Vacha. Because why it is revised as that? Because after revising it, he taught it to his son, Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami is already Brahman realized person. Nivarti Nirtam, it is called a Nivarti Nirtam. Nivarti Nirtam means one who is in self-realized person. Nivarti Marga and Pravarti Marga is a Pravarti Marga is karmic Marga. Which means those people who are giving more importance to the first three factors of Purushartha, Dharma, Artha and Kama, while people who are treading the path of Nirti Marga, they emphasize on the last one, that is liberation, moksha. So that is Nivritti Marga. Pravarti Marga means those who give importance to the first three factors. So Nivritti Marga is more glorified than Pravarti Marga. And the synopsis of Bhagavatam is Nivritti Marga only, which will be detailed later. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is Nivritti Nirtaka. It is a natural commentary on Bhakti Brahma Sutra or Vedanta. Then we clear the next verse. Shaunaka Vacha Save Nivritti Niradaha Sarvatto Veshago Munim Kasyava Brihadi Medam Atma Rama Samvyasa. Sri Shaunaka asked Sudha Goswami. Sri Sudha Goswami was Shukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? Naturally, when he said that, when Sudha Goswami said that Vedavyasa taught this Srimad Bhagavatam to his son Shukadeva Goswami, who is already embarked in the Nivritti Marga, then Shaunaka and other sages naturally got inquisitive. They got a doubt. So why a person who is already in the path of Nivritti Marga, is already on the path of moksha, why it should be said that he should also study, or he should take the trouble of studying Srimad Bhagavatam? So Sukadeva Goswami was already in this path because he is one of the very few people. In purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the world is dominated by karmis only. When thousands and thousands of millions of people who are engaged in bodily welfare work, who are called karmis, out of this, one may become Atmarama by self-realization. Atma means self, Arama means pleasure, one who takes pleasure. We have seen that 17th verse of 3rd chapter. Yastu Atma Radirevasya Atma Triptascha Manava Atmaneva cha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyade. The man whose delight is only in the self, and who is satisfied with the self, and who rejoices the self. This is a characteristics of a person who is self-realized. So Shonaka is asking, why a person who has left his Pravritti Marga and embarked on Nivritti Marga, why he should be attracted by a exhaustive, very elaborate work of Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the use for him to read this? What benefit he will get? So, by his question, by the act of Shukadeva Goswami to be willing to undertake the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's obvious that Bhagavatam is a very postgraduate study of even Atmaramas. So, to make it very clear, Sudha Goswami gives his reply in the next verse. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrandha Pirukrame Kurvandyahaytugi Bhaktim Itambuda Gunohari. All different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit itself, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So there are different Atmaramas, and these different Atmaramas perform bhakti to please Krishna, which means that a person who is already in the Nirti Marga, when he is doing something, bhakti, which is alien to these self-realized persons do not work at all. They do not do anything. They are always rejoicing the pleasure of self, rejoicing in that without getting deviated. Then why Shukadeva Goswami got debated? Because Krishna can attract everyone, because Krishna is possessing very, very special transcendental qualities which can attract anyone and everyone, including liberated souls. So on the purpose, Srila Prabhupada quotes from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatana Goswami is raising this question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that I have heard that you have given a detailed interpretation of this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. We said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given 69 different meanings for this verse. He expanded the 11 factors mentioned in this verse and raised 69 different interpretations. Such was his scholarship, because he is Supreme Personality of God himself. So only he can give such a detailed explanation of this verse. So the 11 factors are namely Atmarama, Munaya, Nirgrantha, Abhi-cha, Urukrama, Kurvandi, Ahaitvigim, Bhaktim, Itambudha Guna, and Harihi. So Atmaramas are means Brahman, the absolute truth, the body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, and personal habits. So Atmaramas got attracted. Then Munaya, the description says, we are already seen this in our reading straight. The Munaya, different meanings of Muni is given. And then different meanings of Nirgrantha. Nirgrantha, many different meanings are given. One is one who is free from false ego. Then one who is free from scriptures. One is free from scriptures because who is not affected by scriptural injunctions, who is free from the obligations of the rules and regulations mentioned in the revealed scriptures, like Vedas, philosophy, psychology, Bhagavad Gita, etc. Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, as we know, in the second chapter, 52nd verse, it is given, Yada te moha kallam buddhir veditarishyadi tada gandasi nirvedam shodavyascha shudasya. When your intelligence has completely crossed the dense illusion, you will be indifferent to all that was being heard and all that will be heard. So once he is beyond this duality, scriptures do not hold any attraction for these persons. So that means Nirgrantha means one who is not following rules and regulations which is mentioned in the scriptures. So ni, the word is used in cases certainly, counting, building, forbiddance, etc. So Atmaramas Chumaneyo Nirganda Abhi Urukrame. The next word is Urukrame. One whose activities are glorious. Krama means step, one step. Urukrama means one's activities are very glorious. And this is a special reference to Vamana Deva, as we know that he has taken within 3 steps, he has covered the entire universes. We have seen that Vamana is a short person, is a dwarf almost, but when he is measuring that with his feet, especially that celestial areas, up to Vaikuntha, he is expanding himself so much that is even touching spiritual planets. And then he's raising his foot, sorry, the leg, and leg is so big and so long that you could touch, pierce the coverings of material universes and go up to Vaikuntha Loka. So to perform this act, Vamanadeva expanded himself. What is said in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, in episode concerning the killing of Trinavat demon. Trinat means the wind demon. He had carried away little baby Krishna. Baby Krishna wanted joy, he wanted to go up to sky. So he planned in such a way that he became heavy in the arms of Yashoda Mataji. Yashoda Mataji had to put him down, and when Yashoda Mataji put him down, the Trinath Asura came in the form of wind and then just whipped away Krishna. But when he reached the top, suddenly Krishna became so heavy that he couldn't move any more further. So it is said that here the Krishna did not change his form. He did not increase it anyway. He was just as if himself, 1-year-old baby. And you can see what is the size of 1-year-old, only a small size. But with that size, it became so heavy. So that is the difference between Krishna and other avatars who to perform this great perform their avatara, their deeds or feats. These Vishnudata expansions, Vishnudatas expanded themselves, expanded their body. But while Krishna, he was a very little boy, without changing his form, without expanding himself, he could increase his weight. So much so that Trinath Asura fell down from the sky and then he died. So that is Urukrama. And Urukrama is applying only for Krishna. He is always situated in his Golok Vrindavan, but with his energy he covers or permeates the whole material universes. Then Kurvanti means do something, something for someone else, not for us. Kurvanti, he do something. But Kurvanti here, Ahetu Bhakti. That is, Bhakti is being directed at Krishna. Bhakti is directed at Krishna only. That means Atmarama surrender devotional service to Krishna. It's very clear. So, Itam Buddha word is given here. Before that is there is an Ahetwigim. Ahetu means causal. Causal means doing something for some reason. But Ahetwigim means without any causal. So the closed bhakti or the caused bhakti, we can say the axe to grind, is performed by other yoga people like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Especially karmis, they are very interested in performing bhakti, causal bhakti. As we have seen that 4 types of bhaktas, Artharthi. The third type is Artharthi. Artharthi means always looking for more and more sense gratification, more and more things. He wants to possess so many things. Elephants, horses, houses, So many things. These are the karmis. And they have a reason for doing bhakti because they want to increase their possessions and enjoyments. And another type of bhaktas are dhyana yogas, who are interested in ashtanga yoga, who is interested in ashtasattviga siddhis, anima, grihima, etc. Pakyatma. So it became ability of doing having this ashtasadhya, they perform bhakti. Like by Jnani also for getting liberation, they perform bhakti. But these are all bhakti for which there are reason for performing bhakti. But ahetui bhakti means there is no reason at all, there is no cause at all for rendering service to Krishna except for serving him. Means the devotees are not looking for anything in return. They are very happy in rendering service to Krishna directly and they enjoy giving service. That is their enjoyment. Not something that we can get out of this service. Then it becomes hate. Haitugi means without cause. So these Maramas, they do ahaitugi bhakti only. So this is unalloyed devotion service. There are different stages of unalloyed devotion service. There is a practice of devotion service in the material field, which means when you are still inside gunas, material gunas. The third canto, in this dialogues between Samada between Kapila Muni and Devahudi, it is mentioned how this bhakti in gunas, three gunas are there, and this multiplies their expansion properties. It goes up to 81. 81 types are there based on this guna. Then beyond this guna bhakti, that is material happiness, aimed at material happiness, is called sadhana bhakti, which is a performance of pure devotion service, unalloyed devotion service. And when this sadhana bhakti matures, it becomes raga bhakti. And the final stage of raga bhakti, the devotee progresses into this 9 stages of Shlapa mentioning here: loving, love, affection, feeling, affinity, adherence, following, ecstasy, and intense feeling of separation. 9 steps. So this attachment, different stages, different varieties of devotees on differently situated in different degrees. What is the level of achievement is given. Srila Prabhupada gives attachment of an active servitor develops up to stage of adherence. Attachment of an inactive devotee goes up to love of God. There is a first swing. Chandrasa, the law of God. He is inactive, not very active. The active one gives up to stage of adherence. Adherence strictly following, adherence in Nishtha stage, we can say. And for a friendly devotee, that means Sakha Bhakta. Sakha Bhakta develops the stage of following. Following means they follow Krishna everywhere. And same is the case for the parallel devotees, Valsalya. But devotees in the conjugal love, the gopis, they go to a stage of intense feeling of separation. Vipralamba bhava, this is a 9th state. So these are some features of the degrees of bhakti. So we can see bhakti is so many variegatednesses in bhakti. Different types of bhaktis are there. Although everyone following is perfect, but still there is a difference in it. And why they perform this bhakti? Why they should perform this bhakti? Kurvandi ahitugim bhaktim. Because you have to understand these are Atmaramas already self-realized. So how can a Bhagavatam, the question here raised by, you have to always remember this question of Shaunaka Rishi, why a self-realized person like Shukadeva Goswami should bother to read such a vast literature called Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a scripture on bhakti. And why should the person who is already delivered, already realized, why should he read a bhakti shastra? Then the discussion here, what is the activity of Srimad, what is the main scheme of Srimad Bhagavatam? It is a relationship with the server and the served. Server is a bhakta and served is a savior, or served is a Lord. Man, according to that, will mean that there is a duality. In the material world, the servant and the master relationship is there because of split identities. But those who are above these dualities, why they should read Bhagavatam, which is giving emphasis to the server-servitor relationship? Then why should a person who is above the scriptures, Nirgrantha, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, as you have seen, Yada te mohakallam buddhir viditarishri tada gandhas nirvedam shrodavyasa shudasya cha. When your intelligence has completely crossed the denseness or dense forest of illusion, you will be indifferent to all that has been heard and all that will be heard. It means the rules and regulations prescribed in the Vedas or Puranas and Bhagavatams do not bind a person who is already self-realized. So then why Shukadeva Goswami was interested in reading Bhagavatam? The answer is Ittam Bhuda Guno Hari. Ittam Bhuda Guno Hari. That is the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So much is the transcendental qualities of Krishna that it attracts even Atmaramas, different types of Atmaramas like Shukadeva Goswami. Another Atmarama is Sanatana Goswami. Sanat Kumar Das, all those four Kumaras. Why this transcendental quality of Krishna is compared to an ocean, big ocean, while the transcendental bliss achieved through Brahman realization is compared to a pool of water contained in a pit made by cow's hoof. Cow's hoof is a, when on a rainy day, or if you go to agriculture paddy fields, you'll find this imprint of a hoof of a cow and some water will be there. So the pleasure of Brahman realization is compared to this water, scanty water, while the pleasure from bhakti is compared to big ocean, like Pacific Ocean. So it is very, very attractive. That is why it is said that no one wants to exchange them for material enjoyment, mystic powers, and liberation. So these qualities of Krishna is not material, because if it is material, then Shukadeva Goswami would not have been attracted at all. It's totally transcendent. Because it is transcendental, he decided to do Kurvanti Bhaktim Ahetugi. To whom? To Hari. Hari means one who takes away all the inauspiciousness. vanquishes everything inauspicious, and takes the mind of devotees by giving pure, divine, and transcendent love. So it eradicates all the different varieties of miseries. Again, the Trivida Klesha is eradicated. And gradually, Krishna, the all attractive Krishna, removes all obstacles in the path of pure devotion. So Shukadeva Goswami was attracted, just like Sanatana Goswami, Sanaka Sanatana. They were attracted by this aroma, a fragrance of flowers and tulsi leaves emanating from the lotus feet of Krishna. Shukadeva Goswami is attracted by narrations. That's why Vyasadeva narrated the pastimes. The damsels of Vrajabhumi were they attracted by the beautiful form of Krishna. The cowboys were attracted. Gopas, they were attracted by these playful features of Krishna. When the playful features of Krishna attracts cohorts, cowboy cohorts, gopas, like so many friends of Krishna is there, Madhumangala is there. Like that, there are so many of his friends. They are attracted by his playful. Then it attracts minds of young girls, elderly girls. He attracts elderly girls because elderly people because they revive or inspire that parental love. Valsarya Bhava. Like that, Krishna is always being attractive. He's so attractive, so powerful that the pure devotee do not hanker for these four principles, the Purusharthas. They're beyond that. Bhakti is the fifth Purushartha. So, by interpreting each and every word of this sloka, one can see unlimited numbers of transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna that attract the mind of a pure devotee. So, thousands and thousands. It is said that Anandadeva have been describing the transcendental qualities of Krishna for eon time of, and he is having some millions and millions of hoods also, but is never tired of chanting the glories of Krishna. Such is the transcendental qualities of Krishna. And because Krishna is so transcendental, it attracted the minds of even Atmaramas who are already embarked on self-realization. That is the meaning of this verse. Thank you very much. Anything you want to know?
Hare Prabhuji, thank you.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Sindhuvi evacha Tadvanam Pavani Vaishnavibhyo.
Vibhyo Namo.
Vaishnavebhyo Namah.